Namaskaram. Shri Lakshmi Hayagriva Parabrahmane Namaha. Srimate Nigamanta Mahadeshikaya Namaha. Asmad Gurubhyo Namaha. Namassabhai. Sarvebhyaha Suswagatam. Welcome all of you to this 11th class on Hayagrivam Upasmahe. Let us start with the Guru Upasana. Lakshminatha Samarambham Nathayamuna Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shri Vatsavira Raghvisha Kripalabdhatma Jivanam Atreya Gotrajam Vande Gurum Gopala Deshikam Shriman Venkatanatharya Kavitarkika Kesari Vedantacharya Varyo Me Sannidhattam Sada Hridi Jnananandamayam Devam Nirmalasphatiकाकृतिम् Adharam Sarvavidyanam Hayagrivam Upasmahe. So before we start the class, I just have a small request. The plan is to complete the stotra by next week. So next week we'll also have the valedictory function. So to make some time for the valedictory function, I'm going to adjust today's class in the sense it'll take a few minutes extra to complete 5 shlokas. So please bear with me. We may take a few extra minutes, maybe 5 minutes or so extra. Just request you all to give that extra time today. Let's get started. We're on the 26th shloka. Tamamsi bhitva vishadairmayukaihi samprinayantam vidushaschakoran nishamaye tvam navapundarike sharadghane chandramiva spurantam. Let me repeat it again. Tamamsi bhitva vishadairmayukaihi samprinayantam vidushaschakoran nishamaye tvam navapundarike Sharadghane Chandramiva Spurantam. So the Pada Vibhaga for that. Tamamsi Bhitva Vishadaihi Mayukaihi Samprinayantam Vidushaha Chakoran Nishamaye Tvam Navapundarike Sharadghane Chandram Iva Spurantam. Tamamsi Bhitva, the words as such. Vishadair Mayukaihi becomes Vishadaihi Mayukaihi. Samprinayantam Vidushaha Chakoran. Vidushas Chakoran has become Vidushaha Chakoran. Nishamaye Tvam Navapundarike Sharad Ghane Chandram Iva Spurantam. Chandram Iva is Chandram plus Iva Spurantam. The prose order Anvaya for this shloka. Sharad Ghane Chandram Iva Navapundarike Spurantam Vishadaihi Mayukaihi Tamamsi Bhitva Vidushaha Chakoran Samprinayantam Tvam Nishamaye. Sharadghane Chandramiva Navapundarike Spurantam Vishadaihi Mayukaihi Tamamsi Bhitva Vidushaha Chakoran Samprinayantam Tvam Nishamaye. Tvam Nishamaye, that's the key phrase there. Tvam, you, Nishamaye, I perceive. So I perceive you. So how do I see you? So that description is what we are seeing in the rest of the phrases over here. So we saw that in the last verses, in the last shloka, last few shlokas, Swami Deshika was describing each and every avayava, right? He was looking at the feet, then he was looking at the hands. So the hand that holds japamala, the hands that holds the pustaka, right? And also the feet with the beautiful anklets in it. That was the description that we were experiencing in the previous classes. So here, now he goes back to the full form, the entire form of Bhagavan that he is perceiving. So that's what we are going to experience in this verse. Let's look at the word by word meaning. Sharad Ghane. Sharat is autumn, Ghana is cloud. So amidst the autumn clouds, Chandram Iva, like the moon. Chandram Iva, like the moon. Nava Pundarike. Pundarika is white lotus. So Nava Pundarika, it's a fresh white lotus. So on a fresh white lotus, Spurantam, one who is shining. right? Spuranta, one who is seated, one who is shining. So one who is shining on a fresh white lotus, like the moon amidst the autumn cloud. So that's the phrase that we have here. So Spurantam, shining. Vishadaihi. Vishada is white. So by white, Mayukaihi. Mayuka is rays. Kirana, rays. So by white rays. Tamamsi. Tamas is darkness. Tamamsi, darkness of different types. So inner and outer darkness. Bhitva. Bhitva, having broken or having pierced through. Bhitva. So by white rays, having broken the darkness or having removed the darkness. Vidushaha Chakora. Vidushaha. Vidushaha, the wise ones, the learned ones. Chakoran. So Chakora refers to a bird. It's a type of bird that we have in our mythology. So it's supposed to be a bird that sustains only on moonlight. So it drinks only the moonlight. So it's like you have a Chakora bird. So this Vidushaha Chakora, the wise ones who are the Chakora birds. Samprinayantam, who is pleasing them. Samprinayantam, one who is pleasing them. Tvam, that you. Nishamaye, I perceive. So I perceive you, who is pleasing the wise ones, who are the Chakora birds. Okay. So let's understand the overall meaning. So I perceive you. Okay. Let's start from here. I perceive you, who is shining on a fresh white lotus, like the moon amidst the autumn cloud. So just as you have the moon shining amidst an autumn cloud, so the autumn cloud is also white. And then you have moon, which is also another white, which is on that cloud. So like that, Bhagavan, Hayagriva, who is effulgent and white, is shining on a fresh white lotus. So he's seated on a white lotus. So sitting on a white lotus is compared to the moon on the, him sitting on the white lotus compared to the moon amidst the autumn cloud. So with his white rays, he is breaking all the darkness. So having broken all the darkness through his white rays. So just as the moon will pierce through the darkness and remove all the darkness by its white clear rays. So similarly, Bhagavan is piercing the darkness, removing the darkness by his white rays, and thereby he's pleasing the wise ones who are the Chakora birds. So just as the moon pleases the Chakora birds, that is the moonlight, when the moon shines and the moonlight comes, right? So this moonlight is taken in by the Chakora birds and they become very happy. So similarly, the wise ones, the learned ones, are taking in the white rays that are coming from Bhagavan Hayagriva. So Bhagavan Hayagriva is spreading his white rays, his knowledge, rays of knowledge all over, right? So that is being taken in by the Vidushaha, by the wise ones, by the learned ones, and they are pleased. So I perceive you in this manner. So he's looking at a complete description where Bhagavan is seated on a white lotus. And how does he look? He is just shining white. And he's spreading that whiteness, that shine, that radiation is coming all over from there and reaching out and covering all the learned ones. So the learned ones are taking in that light and becoming delighted by that. So that is the vision that we are, that Bhagavan, that Swami Deshika is perceiving, and that is how he is describing it in the Shloka. Okay. So let's look at the Bhavartha. The words are simple. The only important part here is the comparison that is being done. So the metaphor is a very beautiful one that is being used here. Okay. Yeah. So as I said, in the previous shlokas, he had described the beauty of Bhagavan's feet and hands. Now he's giving us a description of the complete form, the full form. So Hayagriva Bhagavan is seated on a freshly blossomed pure white lotus. Okay. And white rays are emanating from him, which dispel all darkness and doubts in the minds of his devotees. Okay. So, when we talk of inner darkness and outer darkness, right? So any light will dispel any outer darkness. Now, this light, white rays are coming from Bhagavan, of Hayagriva Bhagavan. It also dispels all the darkness which is there in the minds of the devotees. So darkness in the minds basically means ajnana, right? So it removes all the ajnana. So any doubts, any samshaya, whatever we have is all removed. Okay? And the learned ones who are his devotees, they are satiated by nothing other than him or his grace, right? So these white rays are the ones that will satisfy them. Okay. So this appearance, that is Bhagavan seated on a white lotus, white rays coming from him, which is dispelling all the darkness, which is also dispelling all the darkness in the minds of the devotees who are absolutely pining only for that. Okay, and it is coming to them. So this is the picture that he is having. So this appearance is compared with the white moon, right? So let's look at that comparison. So this appearance, it reminds us of the pleasing white hue of the autumn moon. So what we call as the Sharad Kala Chandra, the autumn moon. Now this autumn moon is bright and white, and it appears amidst fresh white clear clouds. So you have white clear clouds, and on top of that you have this autumn moon, which is also bright. So also Hayagriva Bhagavan, who is pure radiant white in appearance, is seated on a newly blossomed white lotus. You can see the comparison there. So just as the moonlight dispels the darkness, Hayagriva Bhagavan's radiance removes the darkness and confusions in the minds of his devotees. Okay. Similarly, just as the moon satiates the chakora birds, he satiates his devotees. So his devotees are the chakora birds, right? So the chakora birds are said to be longing for the moonlight, right? They are longing for it, right? And they subsist only on the moon beams, on the beams of light that are coming from the moon. So similarly, his devotees are the chakora birds, and they are longing for him, and they subsist only on his prakasha, on the light, on the grace that comes from him, and are delighted by his appearance. So Swami Deshika now says he's mentally visualizing this captivating form of Bhagavan. So this is the form that we need to have in our hearts. So that's the description that Swami Deshika is giving to us in the shloka. So it's all comparison between all white, right? Everything there is white. So Bhagavan is white, he's seated on a white lotus, and what is being compared with, that's also, it's all white in color. So that's the metaphor that we are seeing here. Okay. So this, to understand this metaphor of chakora birds, right? So with comparison of chakora birds with white ones, that's an interesting thing to note over here. So chakora birds would typically wait for all the rains to stop. There is a Sharad Kala, is supposed to come after the rainy season. So it waits for all the rainy season to be over, and it's waiting for the Sharad Kala Chandra, for the moon to appear, right? And when the moon appears, it brings that pure moonlight. Okay, so it's like it is waiting and pining for the moon. So similarly, the wise ones, right, the learned ones, they are waiting for Bhagavan's grace. Okay. Another thing, so just as the chakora bird does not get distracted by anything else, it's waiting only for the moonlight, right? Similarly, the learned ones, the vidushaha, so they are not distracted by any other worldly things. They are waiting only for Bhagavan's grace. And they're able to discern and differentiate. So they know that other things are not what they want. They're able to differentiate that and pick only Bhagavan's grace, right? So they're able to get drenched only in that radiance that is coming from Bhagavan. So that is that the chakora bird comparison also indicates they are vidusha. They know what is right and what is wrong. They know how to pick the right things. So that's a very interesting thing. And we often find that in many of our literature, this comparison of chakora bird with the devotee is often done, which indicates the yearning of the devotees for the divine. So that is another thing that's captured over here. And we said tamamsi bhitva. So that was another thing we need to look at. So tamamsi, we said it is inner and outer darkness, right? So inner darkness could be of the different types of darkness. So it could be brahma, it could be viparyaya, sandeha, ajnana. That is brahma, illusion, right? Something is not there, but you think that it is there. So it could be that. So that is also a type of darkness. Sandeha, you're not sure, this or that. That's sandeha we have. So it could be just ajnana, not knowing something at all, right? Or it could be viparyaya, knowing something which is, looking at something as, in understanding it totally differently, in an opposite meaning. So these are all different types of darkness that we could have. So all these types of darkness are removed by Bhagavan's white rays. So as I said, it's all about whiteness, right? So white lotus, so white Hayagriva Bhagavan, white clouds, and white moon and moonlight. So you have that same kind of comparison there. So the chakora bird also is supposed to be white in color. Okay, so that also is another beautiful thing that we have here. So this description of Bhagavan seated on a white lotus, okay, and which is similar to this clouds of, on the autumn clouds, I mean, moon on an autumn cloud, we see that kind of description in another Dhyana Shloka of Hayagriva also. So, I don't know the exact source, but there we have a phrase which says, Pundarika Asanasinam Pandara Abhrendu Sannibham. So, white moon sitting on a white cloud. So, similarly, he is all pure white sitting on this white lotus. So, let us pray to this Bhagavan Hayagriva. That's the beauty of the shloka. Tamamsi bhitva vishadeirmayukaihi samprinayantam vidushaschakoran nishame tvam navapundarike sharadghane chandramiva sphurantam. Let us go to the next shloka. Dishantu me deva sada tvadiyaha dayataranganucharah katakshaha shrotreshu pumsam amritam ksharantim saraswatim samshrita kamadhenum. Dishantu me deva sada tvadiyaha dayataranganucharah katakshaha shrotreshu pumsam amritam ksharantim saraswatim samshrita kamadhenum. The Padavibhaga for this. Dishantu me deva sada tvadiyaha daya taranganucharaha katakshaha shrotreshu pumsam amritam ksharantim saraswatim samshrita kamadhenu. Most of the words are as such. Dishantu me deva sada tvadiyaha daya taranganucharaha katakshaha Shrotreshu pumsam amritam. Pumsam amritam is pumsam plus amritam. Ksharantim saraswati samshrita kamadhenu. So not too many sandhis over here. So let's look at the Anvaya. Hey Deva. Daya taranganucharaha tvadiyaha katakshaha pumsam shrotreshu amritam ksharantim samshrita kamadhenu saraswati sada me dishantu. Hey Deva, hey Bhagavan, sada me dishantu. Saraswatim sada me dishantu. That is the key part over here. So, daya taranganucharaha tvadiyaha katakshaha pumsam shrotreshu amritam ksharantim samshrita kamadhenu saraswatim sada me dishantu. Sada me dishantu. Me dishantu. Me to me, dishantu, let it give. Let them give. Saraswati sada me dishantu. Saraswati, speech. Let it give me speech. What should give me speech? Tvadiyaha katakshaha. Your kataksha. Your glances. Your side glances that are there. So your glances, which are filled with daya, compassion, should give me Saraswati, should give me vak, should give me speech. Good, sweet speech. So that is what he is asking for in this shloka. So having perceived the full form of Bhagavan, now Swami Deshika is praying for the right speech that he needs in order to carry out his duty. Okay, that is what he is doing here. So let's look at the word by word meaning. Hey Deva, O Swami, Daya Taranga Anucharaha. Daya, compassion. Taranga is wave. Anuchara is follow. So we are looking at Daya Taranga Anucharaha. So Daya Taranga, waves of compassion. Anuchara, something which is following. Okay. So which follow the waves of compassion. So what follows the waves of compassion? Tvadiyaha katakshaha. Tvadiyaha, your katakshaha, divine glances. So your divine glances which follow the waves of compassion. So that tvadiyaha katakshaha, dayataranga anucharaha. Dayataranga anucharaha, tvadiyaha katakshaha. Your divine glances which follow the waves of compassion. Meaning that the waves of compassion are coming. Following that, your divine glances are also coming. Okay, so those glances, what do we want those glances to do? So that's what we're looking at over here. Pumsam, of men, that is students, listeners, vidyarthi, everybody. Shrotreshu, in their ears. So into the ears. Amritam ksharanti. Amritam, nectar. Ksharanti. Ksharanti is to pour or stream. So it is streaming nectar into the ears of men. of the listeners. Okay. So that kind of a Saraswati, that kind of a speech. The speech which is streaming nectar into the ears of those who are listening. Samshrita Kamadhenu. Kamadhenu, we know, is the wish granting cow that we have in our tradition. So Samshrita Kamadhenu. So which is like the Kamadhenu for those who have surrendered to you. So Samshrita, surrendered to you or to the Saraswati, to the speech. Okay. So Samshrita. So Samshrita means one who has surrendered. Kamadhenu. For those who have surrendered, it is like the Kamadhenu. It is like the Kamadhenu which gives whatever they seek, whatever wishes they have. Okay. So that kind of Saraswati speech, that Saraswati, that speech, Sada, always, may, to me, Dishantu, let it give. So what should give? Your glances should give me this Saraswati. So Bhagavan says, you are full of compassion, right? So there are waves of compassion, which are, your compassion is coming wave after wave, it is flowing. So your divine glances are following that compassion. So wherever the compassion goes, your divine glances are following that compassion. And so that your divine glances, therefore, has to bestow on me the speech. So what kind of speech? Should give me speech which will be like nectar, which is pouring into the ears of the listeners. So it should be very sweet to listen to. And it is like a Samshrita Kamadhenu. So like Kamadhenu, it will give whatever they ask for, whatever they need. Everything will be provided by the speech. So the speech must be something which grants everything to the listeners. So that kind of speech is what I need from you. So this is the prayer that he puts to Bhagavan. Okay, that he says to Bhagavan. Let's look at the Bhavartha. So the basic idea here is, why is he asking for the speech? You know, that's something which should go to the others also. So basically, the idea here is that he has experienced Bhagavan Hayagriva, right? So Swami Deshika, having experienced Bhagavan Hayagriva, he wants others also to have that similar experience. So his listeners, his disciples, public in general, everyone should have that experience. Okay, so hence, he is praying to Bhagavan to ask for that gift of speech in abundance so that he can portray this divine form, this experience and the doctrine for the benefit of others. So he wants to take it to the others. How can he take it to the others? Through speech. So he's asking for speech so that he can take this experience and give it to the others so that others also may be able to experience the divine form. They may be able to get that, get the right knowledge, get that experience and understand the right doctrines as well. So all this is for the benefit of others. So therefore, he says, let me have this kind of speech. Okay. Right? So that's the basic idea over here. So he says, O Deva, let your divine glances fall on me so that I'm always blessed with eloquent speech that is beneficial for all. So that's the basic prayer here. Okay. Let me be blessed with eloquent speech, which will be beneficial for all. So you are the ocean of compassion. As a result, there's a continuous propagation of waves of your compassion. So that's what he means by Daya Taranganu Charaha. Okay. Daya Taranga. So it's waves of compassion. Now, this waves of your compassion is the cause for your divine grace to fall on me. So that is why he says, Daya Taranga Anucharaha Kataksha. Your Kataksha, your divine grace is following that compassion of yours. So the compassion, your compassion is the cause for the divine glance to fall on me. You look at me only because of your compassion. So having looked at me with compassion, let that glance, the divine glance of yours, let it endow me with such speech, the ability to compose poems, stotras, and other divine literature, establishing the Vedic doctrine. Right? So let it give me such speech. So the speech is like the wish-granting divine cow, Kamadhenu. Right? Because just as Kamadhenu can give everything, right? So similarly, this Kamadhenu, this should be able to give poems, stotras, divine literature, whatever the listeners may want to listen to or may want to seek, right? It should be able to provide them everything. So like Kamadhenu, it should be able to generate whatever the listeners seek and be like nectar taken in through their ears. So it's like nectar is being perceived through the ears. So it should be pleasing even to hear and be alluring to all. So grant me such a faculty of speech. That's the prayer here. It's a very simple, very beautiful thing. But that bhava that we had, that he's not satisfied with having the experience, divine experience for only himself. He wants it for others, and he wants it to take it to others. So that bhava is what is being portrayed in this particular shloka. And so he asks for that kind of speech which will be beneficial for all, which will be like a kamadhenu, which will grant whatever his shrotas, his listeners may ask for, right? So everything will be granted by his speech. So by just listening to his shlokas, by listening, because even to the ear it is pleasing, and therefore it is alluring. And therefore, once you listen to that, your mind is drawn to that, and it grants you the experience of Bhagavan. So that is the experience that he is. So to grant such experience, he is asking for the faculty of speech. So speech is what is being asked for in this particular verse. Okay. Yeah, so the Shrotreshu Amritam Ksharanti. That is again a very beautiful phrase there. So it is pouring Amrita into the ears of the listeners. So it's not only pleasing to the mind, it's also pleasing to the ears. So that's very important. Okay. And it is also said that this shloka is often recited at the beginning of any discourse. When somebody is giving a discourse, they often recite this particular shloka. So, Dishantu me deva sadatvadiyaha dayataranganuchara katakshaha shrotreshu pumsam amritam ksharantim saraswatim samskrita-kamadhenu. Dishantu me deva sadatvadiyaha dayataranganuchara katakshaha shrotreshu pumsam amritam ksharantim Saraswatim Samskrita-kamadhenum. Okay, so having asked for the speech, let's look at what he is asking next. Visheshavit parishadeshu natha vidagdha goshti samaranganeshu jigishato me kavitarkikendran jihvagra simhasanam abhyupeyaha. Visheshavit parishadeshu natha vidagdha goshti samaranganeshu jigishato me kavitarkikendran jihvagra simhasanam abhyupeyaha. Tripada vibhaga. Visheshavit parishadeshu natha vidagdha goshti samaranganeshu jigishataha me kavi tarkikendran jihvagra simhasanam abhyupeyaha. There are big compound words here. So Visheshavit parshadeshu is a single compound word. Natha vidagdha goshti samaranganeshu, again another one compound word. Jigishataha me, jigishato me become jigishataha me kavi tarkikendran jihvagra simhasanam abhyupeyaha. So that is again a small sandhi over there. Okay. So the Anvaya. He Natha, Visheshavit parishadeshu vidagdha goshti samaranganeshu kavi tarkikendran jigishataha me jihvagra simhasanam abhyupeyaha. Okay. Very words are few, but the meaning is interesting. Is not so small, right? The meaning is something nice to be understood. He Natha, Visheshavit parishadeshu vidagdha goshti samaranganeshu kavi tarkikendran jigishataha me jihvagra simhasanam abhyupeyaha. He Natha, oh Lord, abhyupeyaha. May you please come and descend. Where should you come and descend? May jihvagra simhasanam. Please come and take this throne. Right? Come and take this seat. Come and take this throne. Simhasanam. Simhasanam abhyupeyaha. So where is the simhasanam? This is jihvagra simhasanam. May jihvagra simhasanam. The simhasana is at the tip of my tongue. So please come and take this throne. Be seated on this throne, which is at the tip of my tongue. That is what he's asking. And so, when seated at the tip of my tongue, what will happen? That is basically described in the rest of these words over here. Let's look at the word by word meaning to understand the full details. Okay, so Natha, oh master, Visheshavit Parishadeshu. Okay. Vishesha basically means something special. So Visheshavit is one who knows something special. So a specialist. Okay, so Visheshavit Parishadeshu. So Parishad is a council or an assembly. So Parishada refers to people who are in the assembly. So assembly members or to be judges, right, in a council. So we're talking about the in the council of experts or pandits, right? So in a council, in councils of experts or panditas, vidagdha goshti samaranganeshu. Vidagdha basically means seasoned. So seasoned scholars. They are very seasoned scholars. Goshti refers to group. Samara Angana. Samara Angana refers to war field. Samara is war, Angana is a field. So war field. So we are looking at seasoned scholars, okay, who are seasoned scholars who are in a war field. So that is basically we're looking at those who are seasoned to qualify in war fields of debates. So Goshti Samara. So what kind of a Samara is it? What kind of a war field is this? It's a Goshti. Vidagdha Goshti Samara. So Goshti basically is a group. Vidagdha is, as I said, seasoned scholars or intellectuals. So among the seasoned scholars or among intellectuals in a war field which has only these intellectuals. So in the war field of debates among the intellectuals. So that is what is conveyed by the words over here. So Vidagdha Goshti Samara Anganeshu. So in the war field of debates among the intellectuals, okay, and what are these intellectuals like and where are they? They are in the council of experts or panditas. You have a council of experts or panditas, and all these experts and panditas, they are also, and where are they? They are in this war field of debates. Okay, so this is the situation. And in this kind of a setup, right? Kavi, Tarkika, Indran. So Kavi, poets, Tarkika, logicians, Indra are the best among. So they are best among poets and logicians. Jigishataha. Jigishata is Jetu Micha. You want as with a desire to win. So somebody has a desire to win over all these. The Kavitarki Kendra. One who has a desire to win over the best among the poets and logicians. May. Who wants to win over all of them? May. I want to. Therefore, May Jihva Agra Simhasanam. So my Jihva Agra Simhasanam. So Simhasanam we said is the throne. Right? Simhasana refers to the throne. Jihva Agra. Where is this throne? This throne is at the tip of my tongue. Jihva is tongue. Agra is the tip. So this Simhasana, which is the tip of my tongue. Abhi Upeyaha. May you please ascend. So you please ascend this throne, which is at the tip of my tongue. Okay. Why should you do that? What is the best benefit of that? Because I have this desire to win over the best among the poets and logicians in the council of experts or panditas in the war field of debates among the intellectuals. So there is this war field of debates among intellectuals, and who are there? All the people there are experts or panditas. The judges there are experts. Everybody there is an expert. They are all specialists. So in this place of where only specialists exist, right? So in that, among that assembly, I want to win over the Kavitarkika Indra, the best among the poets and the logicians. So I have to be better than the poets over there. I have to be better than the logicians over there. So for me to have the speech which will allow me to win over all arguments and be better than others in poetry and in literature, what do I need? I need you to be seated at the tip of my tongue. So he asked for speech in the previous shloka, right? So now he says, you come and sit at the tip of my tongue. Only then that kind of a shloka is possible. So he says, Bhagavan, you please come and be seated at the tip of my tongue. Right? It's a very beautiful prayer. Right? So he wants Bhagavan to be seated at the tip of his tongue so that the speech that comes out, the words that come out from his tongue will be such that it will win over everyone. That's the idea. there's another beauty also in this shloka. So we saw in the previous shloka that he's praying for good speech so that everybody will be benefited from his experience, right? So here he's going one step further. So there may be some opponents, who are still opposing him, and so they may not actually be willing to listen to his speech. Now he says, I want to win over them as well and bring them over to my side so that they may also experience this divine grace. So to that extent, Swami Deshika wants to include his opponents as well in giving them the grace of Bhagavan Hayagriva. Okay, so that's the one other beauty that we have in this shloka. Okay, right. So Swami Deshika is seeking Bhagavan's blessing to defeat all the opponents by countering their arguments. So why does he want to defeat them? So that they also come over to his side. That is the inner meaning there. So he wants to defeat all the opponents. So he says, oh Master, I need your grace to argue effectively to establish our Siddhanta. Right? So that's how I can establish our doctrine. Therefore, I request you to sit at the tip of my tongue and provide me guidance and direction, such that the words coming out of my mouth will verily be yours. So it will be Bhagavan's words that are coming out. So Bhagavan is speaking through him, right? So that is how it will be. So it is only then that my desire of defeating the experts among the literatures and logicians will be fulfilled. So my opponents are no ordinary people. So they are all very capable people, right? So they are capable of composing very nice literary works of prose, poetry, and so on. And they're also adept and seasoned in vada and vivada, arguments and counter arguments. Okay? And they are constantly engaged in debate warfare, thus sharpening their intellect. So we talked about a warfare, right? So why do we talk about a warfare here? Because in a warfare, your skills are sharpened, right? So similarly, in a debate warfare, what happens is that the intellect is sharpened. So all these opponents that I'm talking about, they all have very sharp intellects. So if I have to win over them, I need your grace. You need to be sitting at the tip of my tongue. Okay? So the judges or mediators in such debates are also learned ones. So it's only with the help of you acting through me that my rivals can be defeated. So please come, be seated at the tip of my tongue and bless me. That is what he's asking for, right? So please come and be seated at the tip of my tongue. So that way, all the words that come out of my mouth will verily be yours. And therefore, it will be straight Bhagavan's words that are coming out of Vedanta Deshika Swami. Okay, that's the beauty here. So, so basically, this part that I mentioned earlier, right, that he wants all his opponents to come over to his side and to defeat the arguments and bring them to the righteous path. He's very convinced that his path is the righteous path, right? It's Bhagavan's path. Therefore, he's praying for Bhagavan's help to defeat them and bring them over to his side. Okay. And the tip of the tongue, you can also say that we saw the previous shloka where he's seated on the white lotus, right? So you could probably say that the tip of the tongue is softer than the pure white lotus. And he says, please come and sit over here at the tip of my tongue. It's even softer than the white lotus. So that way you can bless me abundantly. So this blessing is what he is seeking in this particular shloka. Okay. So you have to sit at the tip of my tongue so that my speech will be so good that it will defeat all the opponents and I'll be able to cover everybody. That's the idea. Visheshavit parishadeshu natha vidagdha goshti samaranganeshu jigishato me kavitarkikendran jihvagra simhasanam abhyupeyaha. Go to the next shloka. Okay, there was a question on what is the word that means debates here. So the Vidagdha Goshti, that Vidagdha Goshti itself, there's a question which says, what is the word that means debates here? It's not explicitly mentioned, but that Vidagdha Goshti, when we talk about, that Vidagdha Goshti essentially means, Vidagdha is those who are seasoned in debates. So Vidagdha Goshti refers to those who are seasoned in debates. So which means we are looking at a group which is seasoned in debates. So that's the idea that we have here. So next shloka. Tvam chintayan tvanmayatam prapannaha tvam udgrinan shabdamayena dhamna swamin samajeshu samedhishiya swachandavadahavabadhashuraha. Tvam chintayan tvanmayatam prapannaha tvam udgrinan shabdamayena dhamna swamin samajeshu samedhishiya swachandavadahavabadhashuraha. So now if you have come and you are seated at the tip of my tongue, what will happen, right? So next step is probably what he's talking about over here. Tvam chintayan tvanmayatam prapannaha tvam udgrinan shabdamayena dhamna swamin samajeshu samedhishiya swachanda vadahava baddha shuraha. So tvam chintayan, word as such, tvanmayatam, single word, prapannaha, tvam udgrinan. Tvam udgrinan comes tvam plus udgrinan. Shabdamayena dhamna, all the others are straight simple word. Tvamin samadeshu samedhishiya swachanda vadahava baddhashuraha. That's a compound word. Okay. Coming to the Anvaya, the prose order. Swamin, tvam chintayan, tvanmayatam prapannaha, shabdamayena dhamna tvam udgrinan, samajeshu, swachanda vadahava baddha shuraha samedhishiya. Swamin, tvam chintayan, tvanmayatam prapannaha, shabdamayena dhamna tvam udgrinan, samajeshu, swachanda vadahava baddha shuraha samedhishiya. So, swachanda vadahava baddha shuraha samedhishiya. That's the prime part. So, samedhishiya, let me grow. So, how should I grow? I should grow in a manner that swachanda vadahava baddha shuraha. In all vada, right? In this warfield of debates and vada, I should be one who has conquered all the enemies. So, in that way, I should grow in the samaja, in this group. Let's look at the word by word meaning because there are a few other things to understand here. Swamin, O Master, Tvam, about you, Chintayan, Chintana, to think. So, be continuously thinking about you. Tvam Chintayan, Tvanmayatam, Tvat Mayatam, Tvanmaya, becoming one with you. I become one with you. So, having obtained Prapanna, Tvanmayatam Prapannaha. Having obtained oneness with you. Tvanmayatam prapannaha. Shabdamayena. So, by Shabda, by that which is filled with Shabda, so mantras, with the help of mantras, which are basically Shabda, right? Shabda Swarupa, mantras. Shabdamayena dhamna. So, dhama is effulgence. So, with the effulgence of mantras, Tvam udgrinan. Tvam you. Udgrinan. Udgrinan is to praise. Okay, is to loudly proclaim. So, udgrinan. So, gr is to talk. So, udgrinan basically means to loudly proclaim. So, loudly proclaim your greatness, right? With the effulgence of your mantras. So, praising you. Samajeshu, in all samaja, in all assemblies. Swachanda vada ahava baddha shuraha. Swachandra, at my will. So, at will, vada ahava, in the vada, in any argument, ahava, in that warfield, baddha shuraha. So, baddha, I have tied up all the enemies, right? So, I have one who has tied up the enemies and emerged victorious as a victorious warrior. The baddha shuraha, having tied up all the enemies, I have come out victorious. So, I'm emerging as a victorious warrior in the debate battlefield. So, I have the capability to argue at will. So, that's Swachanda Vada. Okay. So, at will, I should be able to argue. I should be able to put forth my arguments as I want to. So, with this capability to argue at will in arguments and emerge as a victorious warrior in the battlefield, May I stand tall. Samedhishiya, may I grow. Okay. So may I stand tall, may I grow in all assemblies with this capability to argue at will in arguments and emerge as a victorious warrior in the debate battlefield. So it's a big compound word. So there are many things that are conveyed in that particular word here. Okay. And how do I get into this state? I get into the state by Tvam Chintayan, continuously thinking about you. And having continuously thought about you, I obtain a oneness with you. I become one with you. And when I become one with you, what do? I proclaim your greatness, right? So proclaiming, so I praise you. So praising you, with what do I praise you? With the effulgence of mantras. So I say all the right mantras and I praise you, right? So the Hayagriva mantra, for instance. So I use the mantras to praise you. So I will be totally immersed in praising you, right? So having done that, once I do that, right, once I'm in that state, automatically in all assemblies, I will emerge as the victorious warrior. I'll be able to argue at will. And I will be able to grow in this manner. So you please bless me, hey Swamin, please bless me so that I will grow in this manner. Okay. So in order to, so you can look at it like this. So Tvam Chintin, so in order to think about you, so that I become one with you, and so that I'll be able to praise you. Okay, so all these things have to happen only with your grace. Okay, so everything asking for Bhagavan's grace. Okay, so having obtained all these things, I will be able to have that gift of speech and use it in a proper manner. So, and I should keep growing in that manner, is the meaning here. Okay. Okay. So now Swami Deshika, as we said, he is describing how he will suppress his rivals with the gracious presence of Bhagavan with him. So Bhagavan is with him now, right? Because he is seated at the tip of his tongue. So with Bhagavan constantly with him, right? So naturally what will happen? He will become the victorious warrior in all debates. Okay. So that's the prayer here. O Bhagavan, Tvam Chintayan, while constantly thinking of you and meditating on you, I acquire a certain oneness with you. Okay, Tvanmayatam prapannaha. So I become one with you, wherein I realize that you are my Atma. Right? When I say Tvanmaya, because you are my Atma, you are my inner controller. Okay, so I understand that. So once I realize that, in that state, I set out to praise you with the effulgent mantras. So I use nice mantras to praise you. So when I praise you in that manner, as a result, what happens? I become unconquerable in any learned assembly. Okay? So I'll be able to put forth my arguments with free will. And because of that, I'll be able to stun my opponents and make them tongue-tied. Because you are sitting at the tip of my tongue. Therefore, they will not be able to wag their tongues. Right? They will not be able to put forth their arguments. My arguments will overpower theirs. So bless me to grow in this manner. Okay? So Baddha Shuraha. So the tying of the enemies, right? So you can look at it as their tongues are tied. So because here we're talking about debates, and the war is about, it's a debate war, not a physical war, right? Therefore, I will be able to their tongues will be tied by my arguments. So, and therefore, I will emerge victorious. And this happens only with your grace and your will. Okay. So that's the Shloka here. So here, it is not only for, not only a prayer for speech, but you can look at this as a prayer for everything. So whatever we do, whatever actions, whatever things we do, whatever desires we have, as long as our desires are righteous, right? So for all our righteous desires, it can be achieved only by constant chintana, Tvam Chintayan, right? So Bhagavan, by just thinking of Bhagavan. So meditation on Bhagavan will help us achieve all our righteous desires. Okay? So this shloka can be taken as not only for this instance where Bhagavan is praying for the right speech. We are looking at it as for all activities, all right activities, we need Bhagavan's grace. That's what we need to do. Okay. So in fact, there is a quotation which says in Vishnu Puranam and other places also, right? We say that, hey Madhava, Tvayi baddha sauhridaha, those who are totally attached to you, those who are totally thinking of you, kvachit margat na bhrashyanti. No, they never falter from their path. So they never stray from their path. They will always be on the path towards you. They will never get distracted. Okay. So tvam chintayan tvanmayatam prapanna. So always thinking of you, they become one with you. Right? That's the idea. Now this oneness with you is something that we need to understand correctly. So this tvanmayatam prapannaha is often looked at as one of the states or one of the experiences that one has as a devotee, as a upasaka of Bhagavan. So when you're doing upasana for Bhagavan, the tvanmayata, becoming one with Bhagavan, right? So that's a wonderful state that one could obtain. So we see the description of such a state in many of the bhaktas. Okay? So one is, of course, gopis. So if you look at Vishnu Purana, in the fifth chapter, the 13th adhyaya of the fifth canto, where you have a description of Rasa Krida. Almost the entire Rasa Krida, you will find that the gopis have this oneness with Krishna. So that entire oneness with Krishna is what is beautifully described in that particular adhyaya. So because Rasa Krida is one very beautiful experience, right? Where they have oneness with Krishna. That is one thing. Similarly, you will see Prahlada saying this. So in again, we can look at Vishnu Purana in the in the first adhyaya itself, where first amsha in Vishnu Purana, where we have description of this Prahlada story is said over there. So in the Prahlada Charita, one of the experiences that Prahlada says there is Mattaha Sarvam Aham Sarvam. So he says, I am everything, and from me everything emerges. Now, how can he say that unless he feels that oneness with Bhagavan, right? So he feels that oneness with Bhagavan, and he says at that state, Mattaha Sarvam Aham Sarvam. From me everything emerges. I am everything. So that experience of Prahlada also is a pointer towards this. Similarly, in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, we have a Shruti Vakya which says by Vamadeva. No, Vamadeva, when he experienced it, Brahmanubhava, he says, Aham Manurabhavam Suryascha. I am this Manu. I have become this Manu. I have become Surya. Okay, so I become everything in this world. So that oneness with Bhagavan, right? So that is something that they experience. So this experience is basically understanding that he is the Antaratma of everything. So if he is the Antaratma in everything, so that oneness with everything is what is experienced. So that's the the depiction is what we are seeing in this particular shloka here. Okay. So tvam chintayan tvanmayatam prapannaha. So I'm thinking of you. I become one with you. Tvam udgrinan shabdamena dhamna. So I praise you with mantras. And therefore, Swamin Samajeshu Swachanda Vadahava Baddhashuraha Samedishya. So I will grow as a victorious person in all debates. That's the meaning of the shloka. Tvam chintayan tvanmayatam prapannaha tvam udgrinan shabdamayena dhamna Swamin Samajeshu Samedhishiya Swachanda Vadahava Baddhashuraha. Let's look at the next shloka, the last one for today. Nana vidhanam agatih kalanam na chapi tirtheshu kritavataraha dhruvam tavanatha parigrahayaha navam patramaham dayayaha. Nana vidhanam agatih kalanam na chapi tirtheshu kritavataraha dhruvam tavanatha parigrahayaha navam patramaham dayayaha. Padavibhaga. Nana vidhanam agatihi kalanam. That's the first pada. Nana vidhanam agatihi kalanam na cha api tirtheshu kritavataraha dhruvam tava anatha parigrahayaha navam patram aham dayayaha. So the first pada we have nana vidhanam agatihi kalana. So 3 words from that pada. Na chapi. Cha plus api is chapi. So chapi becomes na cha api. Okay, na and chapi. Tirtheshu kritavataraha as such. Dhruvam. Again, tava anatha parigrahayaha. So tava and anatha parigrahayaha. That's a sandhi there. Navam. Patramaham becomes patram plus aham. Dayayaha as such. So anvayaha, the prose order. Nana vidhanam kalanam agatihi apicha tirtheshu na kritavataraha anatha parigrahayaha tava dayayaha aham navam patram dhruvam. Nana vidhanam kalanam agatihi apicha tirtheshu na kritavataraha anatha parigrahayaha tava dayayaha aham navam patram dhruvam. So the again the key phrase here is aham navam patram dhruvam. Okay, so I am, so the am is understood. Aham, I am. Navam patram, I am a new or very fit patram. Patram is a receptacle. No, it should be a good a person who is fit to receive something. Dhruvam, this is sure. Surely I am the fit patram. I am the fit receptacle for you. For what? For tava dayayaha. I am the fit person to receive your daya. Okay. So why is it so? That is what is described in the first three phrases here. Okay. All right. So the word by word meaning. Nana vidhanam kalana. Nana vidha, different types. Kala is art form or vidyas, different types of vidya or art forms. Agatihi, I am not a destination for different art forms, meaning I am not a master of different art forms. Apicha, moreover, tirtheshu. Tirtha could be in holy rivers or sacred waters, or tirtha pada, sacred teachers. Na krita avataraha. I have not done avatara there. Avatara basically means descending. So I have not descended into holy rivers or sacred waters or gone anywhere near sacred teachers. Okay, so na kritavataraha, na tirtheshu kritavataraha. I have not gone anywhere near these things. Okay, so I do not know any art forms. I have not mastered any art forms, and I'm not a great, student that way. I have not gone to any holy rivers or done any punya in that manner. Okay, so therefore, anatha parigrahayaha. So I'm an anatha. Okay, I'm a destitute. I'm helpless. So for parigraha is one which accepts. So for your so something which prefers or which accepts those who are helpless, to such daya of yours, right? Tava dayayaha, for your compassion. So for your compassion, which is anatha parigraha. So your daya is something which only accepts those who are helpless. Okay. So for this daya, for your compassion which accepts those who are helpless, aham, I am a navam patram. I am an ever new receptacle for that. So I am a deserving receptacle for your daya, for your compassion. Dhruvam, this is absolutely definite. There's no doubt on this. Without a doubt, I am the deserving person for your daya, because your daya will accept those who are only helpless. And why do I fit that, that anatha? Why do I fit that beautifully? Because I have not mastered any kalas. I have not mastered any art forms, right? And similarly, I have not gone to any sacred rivers and obtained some punya or whatever so that your glance may fall on me, right? I have not done any of those things. Na tirtheshu kritavata, not gone to any sacred teachers or whatever, learned something good from them. I have not done any of things. Therefore, I am a helpless person. So naturally, I am the fit person to receive your daya. So having asked for, in the previous shloka, we saw how he said, with your grace, I will be able to do all these things, right? So now he says, your grace has to come to me because I am the fitting person for your grace. That's the beautiful description in the shloka. Let's look at the bhavartha. Okay. So Bhagavan may say, right? So now that I am sitting at the tip of your tongue, everything will come automatically. You take care of yourself. So he says, no, I can't take care of myself. I still need your grace always with me. So he says, so he's reiterating that he has very limited knowledge and is totally dependent on him. Therefore, he is appealing to his compassion, seeking refuge. That's the overall essence here. Okay. So he says, Hey Bhagavan, Nana Vidhanam Kalanam. So many kalas, there are many art forms and vidyas. Nana Vidha, different types of art forms and vidyas exist. Of those Kalanam, Agatihi, I have not mastered any of them. I have not learned or mastered any of them. Okay, that's the first one. Nana Vidhana Kalana Magatihi. I have not mastered or learned any of these vidyas or art forms that are there. Similarly, I have not been in the company of great gurus. Nachapi tirtheshu kritavataraha. This tirtha could mean tirthapada, which means you're looking at gurus, great preceptors who are like tirthas, right? Who will purify you. So I have not been in the company of great gurus. Or you can also look at it as punya tirtha, right? Like taking a dip in the holy waters of the Ganges and so on. So I have not taken a dip in any of the holy waters. I have not gone to any tirtha that way also. So as such, I have no virtue. I have no punya to my credit for you to even glance at me. Okay? But what is it that I have? I know, however, that your compassion prefers only such people who are hapless, helpless, destitutes. Anatha parigraha. So your daya, your compassion is something which will only pick people who have no other option, right? They are absolutely hapless and helpless. It will pick up those people. So for that daya, I know that I am the navam patram. I am the ever new target for your grace. Always the target for your grace. I fit that requirement of being helpless, destitute perfectly, because I have not done any of these things which normally people do in order to get your grace. But I know that your grace is very partial, very specific to those who have no other qualities, right? Who are absolutely helpless. Therefore, I am the right target for your grace. So essentially he's saying, you will not get such a fitting target. You will never get such a fitting, unique target. So no doubt in this. Therefore, you have to shower your grace on me. If you miss me, you will not get another right target like this for your grace to be showered on, right? So don't miss showering your grace on me, right? So that's the very beautiful appeal that we see over here. Okay. So that's the appeal that we have here. So na tirtheshu kritavataraha. So that was agati kalanam, nana vidhanam kalanam agatihi. That is quite straightforward, right? Not mastered any art forms and so on. So this tirtheshu kritavataraha, the second phrase that he's using, tirtha, can refer to three different things. So tirtha could be, as I said, holy waters, which is the tirtha that we are normally familiar with, right? Holy waters. Or it could be tirtha pada, like as I said, the holy or great teachers. So I have not gone to any great teachers as well. I have not gone to the holy rivers as well. Third could be different vidya sthana. So vidya tirtha, which means that different types of vidya. I have not gone to learnt many different vidya. I have not done that either. So you can look at as kala being separated and vidya being separated. So that's also another way of understanding this. So vidya can mean any of these things. So he says, I have no connection with any of these. Okay. No, I have not done any approach or service to acharyas. Okay. I have not had any dip in the waters. No introduction to any seats of knowledge. Okay. So totally dependent only on Bhagavan's solicitude. Okay. Bhagavan's grace. I am only dependent on your grace because I have not done any of these things. Okay. So that's the again a kind of Naichyanusandhanam, right? That I have no other capability. You are the one who has to bless me. Okay. And now we see this a very similar emotion depicted also in many other acharyas, shlokas and so on. So one notable one is Stotra Ratna of Alavandar. In Stotra Ratna of Yamunacharya or Alavandar, so he says in that, Tvayapi labdham Bhagavan idanim Anuttamam patram idam dayayaha. So I have got you, right? That is one thing. But you have also got, Bhagavan, Anuttamam patram for your daya, for your grace. You have got an Anuttamam, absolutely fitting patra, a fitting receptacle, a fitting target for you. So if you leave me, you will not get such a target. So therefore, you have to help me, right? So akinchanaha ananyagatihi sharanyaha. So I am akinchana. I have no other upaya. I don't have any other means. You are my sole refuge. I am just holding on to your feet. Therefore, you have to bless me with your grace. Right? So that's the prayer that we all need to have constantly, right? Bhagavan has to bless us with his grace. And with that grace, we will be able to get more of his grace and be with him. So that's the prayer. Okay. So that's the duty of this shloka. Okay. So let me repeat the shloka before we complete for today. Nana vidhanam agatik kalanam na chapi tirtheshu kritavataraha dhruvam tavanatha parigrahayaha navam patramaham dayayaha. Okay. You see that there are a couple of comments. Okay. So there are many references that we can have with our Divya Prabandham and other such works of Alvars. Okay. That I think that has been pointed out here by someone. Note non billion. I have not done any other, I have not done any vrata. I don't know anything. I only know your grace. So he asks for like that. Okay. Anuttamam patram. Is that fitting patram? Is there ansamasa in it? Anuttamam is you will not get something like this. So that's the meaning over there. Fitting patram. That's the meaning over there. That's the fitting patram is the meaning over there. Na uttamam, anuttamam. Yes, that is what you will have over there. Okay, so that's the. All right. So there's somebody has asked a question. Missed 2 classes. Will I get records of all the records of previous classes are there. Once you sign up, once you have signed up for the class, it will be there in your account. So you can always take a look at all the classes. Okay. I don't think any other questions are there. If there are no other questions, we will conclude for today by saying the Mangala Shloka. So next week, we are hoping will be our last class where we will complete the Hayagriva Stotram with Bhagavan's grace. And there will be a small valedictory kind of a formality also will be there. So I think you may have received the a mail stating that. So I just wanted to mention that as well. Okay. So the Mangalam for today. Kavitarkika Simhaya Kalyana Gunashaline Srimate Venkateshaya Vedanta Gurave Namaha. Dhanyavada.